The ideas, procedures, and suggestions contained within this podcast are not intended as a substitute for consulting with a medical professional. All matters regarding your health and fitness require medical consultation and supervision. Welcome to the Warrior Wellness Podcast, a podcast for military members, veterans, and first responders focusing on fitness, health, nutrition, and biohacking. Our mission with this podcast is to introduce America's heroes to lifestyle habits and hacks that will help them live healthier, happier lives, and in turn, be fit enough to continue their support of their communities and country.
Welcome to another episode of the Warrior Wellness Podcast. I'm your podcast host, Stephanie Lincoln, founder of Fireteam Whiskey, and your host for the Warrior Wellness Podcast. Today I'm sitting down with Christy Murray. She is the owner of Blue Veil Wellness, and she is a Army veteran. She's a functional wellness and fertility consultant. So today we're going to talk to her about health and fertility services that are available that you may not know about. And why would someone need a fertility coach and what that entails? You can listen to or watch the video recording of this podcast and all the other Warrior Wellness podcasts by going to fireteamwhiskey.com/the Warrior Wellness Podcast.
Introducing the new Fireteam Whiskey Fitness and Nutrition app. Everything you need to get fit and lose weight right at your fingertips. Choose from hundreds of fitness videos and fitness plans. Search for workouts by fitness level, equipment available, or body part focus. Choose from several nutrition plans and customize your macros. Your entire fitness, nutrition, and wellness plan all scheduled on your calendar. Text a trainer anytime for tips, tricks, and motivation. Achieve your fitness and health goals with the Fireteam Whiskey app. Go to www.fireteamwhiskey.com to get 2 weeks of results for free.
Well, thank you, Christy, for joining us on the Warrior Wellness Podcast. Christy is the owner of Blue Veil Wellness, and she's a functional wellness and fertility consultant. So we're going to talk all about that very soon and what she does with Blue Veil Wellness. So, Christy, just first off, just tell us a little bit about yourself and your certifications as a functional wellness and fertility consultant.
Hi, everyone. My name is Christy Murray. I kind of have a mix of experience. I'm focusing on fertility online, but as a full-time job, I am a nurse practitioner in women's health. Also, I'm a mom of two, and I talk about fertility a lot because it's my passion, because I went through it. Most of my experience and like all the training that I chose to do a deep dive on, it's because of what I went through. Kind of, got married late and then like found out about all these things. But I am, like I said, I'm a nurse practitioner, and I have certifications in functional medicine, and also precision nutrition coach, because I choose to mix the nutrition and the wellness and everything else. So
yeah. And I want to interject there because I would love to discuss this a little bit further a little later on this interview, but fertility issues and struggles are on the rise. And I know for sure, as a nutrition coach and a licensed mental health professional, we can definitely attribute nutritional and poor nutrition and poor nutritional lifestyle choices to contributing to some of these maybe medical factors that are involved in reducing fertility rates. So I'm glad that you have that background and knowledge, and that's what you're doing with your clients. So tell us about what you do, how you created Blue Veil Wellness, what kind of led you to starting your own fertility consultant business.
Yeah. So I'm naturally a go-getter. It's like I keep going and going and I don't stop. And it's one of my weaknesses. I always want to find out about these things and I wanted to keep helping people. So even though I'm like dealing with people as patients, I feel like I need to do more as far as how fertility goes. That's why I decided to open Blue Veil Wellness online. I started actually just pivoted. I started off in general wellness and women's health. And then, and so doing that, I keep going back to my passion into like helping women. And because there's just so much more that we don't know. And as women, we just like naturally want to do everything and take care of everyone. But then again, who's taking care of us in the meantime? And how do we take care of ourselves so we can give more and take care of the people that we care about? So that's the function of Blue Veil Wellness. It's not really just general wellness anymore. It's helping women in building their family and getting their health and their body ready for family building.
Yeah. So I'm guessing a fertility consultant is, kind of take me through this kind of journey of a typical client for you who would contact you. What is their problem? What are they seeking? And how do you help them specifically with your services with Blue Veil Wellness?
So generally when a woman, seeks to get pregnant, they see a provider, which I kind of really have to be careful online and have to like draw the line with seeing clients online because I'm a licensed provider in an actual medical setting. So just an example, when a woman goes and see their medical provider, they can run lab tests there, and it's a general like overview. Okay, this is what we do. These are the diagnostics and the lab testing. And then a woman gets told, okay, this is what we found and this is what we're going to do. What I'm finding is, and also with like my personal experience is I was given like all these things, but then I left and I'm like, okay, now what do I do with these? Like no one's like telling me, how do I get my thyroid, leveled up? What do I do? Aside from taking these medications. And on top of that, I had to do my own research and find my own like forums and kind of support group because women going through infertility, no one wants to, it's not a badge of honor that you kind of walk around saying, oh, I'm going through infertility. I'm going through all these treatment. But maybe some women do, but, generally it's like a silent epidemic because women are suffering silently because of it. So it's like, unless you find someone else to, that would open up to you, and then you find out both of you are going through the same issue, you really don't find a tribe and you're holding things in and you're suffering in silence. And as a result of that, you're getting your body physically, but your mind and everything else that really triggers all the hormonal imbalances like the stress, no one really addresses it. So as a fertility wellness consultant, it's not so much that I'm like telling you what's wrong with you or how to get pregnant. It's about, okay, what were you told? What's your, what are you dealing with? What's your support system? How do you feel about yourself? Like we go into the deep rooted like issues. Are there any mental blocks that that's causing you to feel this way, or what's going to happen if this and this happens? And is anyone teaching you how to take care of yourself? And how's your diet? How's your lifestyle? Everything else, it's not so much as that, okay, let's get you pregnant. But that's the goal. But also the goal is to have a healthy pregnancy, not just a pregnancy. Because if you want to get pregnant, of course you want a family, you want to be around for your child, you want a healthy child. So let's take care of the woman first and everything surrounding that so we can get you there.
Fireteam Whiskey is proud to sell Zyia athletic wear. We love the awesome styles, amazing quick dry technology, and best of all, the price. Zyia Active is the official workout wear of Fireteam Whiskey. Go to bit.ly/ZyiaFTW and check out all the styles for women, men, and kids. Yeah, that's so good. I love that. And I mean, thus was the coaching consulting field was born, right? It's because we get such a small amount of information from medical providers. It's such a short amount of time. You know, it's quick. It's usually just 15 minutes. Here's what's wrong. Here's some medications. You know, good luck with that. Here's maybe some handouts or some brochures. And they're like, okay, bye. And then you don't see them again for another 90 days. And so you're left with this kind of DIY, figure it out for yourself kind of approach with very minimal information and support. And so I love that, you know, I love that, you know, that's how coaching and consulting was born, out of that need. I mean, there's this huge gap between, you know, finding out there's a problem, there's a struggle, and achieving your goal. And there's, you know, people who are now experts in these specific areas that can help you, instead of, I always say, you know, there's always a way from point A to point B, right? Like I can drive right now from the state of South Dakota to, where are you at?
Alaska.
You're in Alaska. I can drive from South Dakota to Alaska, right? There's a point A to point B. There's a short way to get there, right? The shortest way to get there. But what happens is when we have minimal information, minimal support, we end up, you know, just kind of like taking every road. Oh, this road looks good. Let's look over here. Well, Bob said they should take this road. Well, Jenny said she did it this way, so I'm going to go over here. You spend all this time and effort and energy and even maybe money on all these things because you're just getting information from everywhere and you have no clear guide, right? So that's what you do for these women, is you're an expert in this area. You know, there are certain, you know, check marks along the way that help increase your chances of getting pregnant. So you can help guide somebody from, you know, point A to point B and this most direct line as possible, instead of just spinning their wheels and trying everything that they Googled or got on anywhere, you know, anywhere.com or on Facebook groups. So, you know, I definitely encourage everybody listening out there. I don't care what your difficulty is, what your speed bump is that you're dealing with in your life. There's an expert out there. There's a consultant or a coach who is going to help you, and who is an expert, help you not spin your wheels and feel like you're banging your head against a wall every single day, which is not great for somebody who's trying to get pregnant, right?
Yeah, because you're fighting against the clock there. I mean, and like the more medications you take, it takes a toll on your body. And like no one's addressing the fact that you're not sleeping, and you should be. How's your relationship with your spouse? You're trying to get pregnant. Is your spouse on board? You know, is your relationship supportive? I feel like there's so much more that needs to be addressed that's not being addressed, instead of just like, here you go.
Right, exactly. And that's, you know, welcome to the you and I are licensed health providers, so we could definitely say this. We know that the health system is not fantastic. It's basically focused on one thing. Let's put you on some medications and try to fix your problem, right? And we know as actual providers who spend more than 15 minutes with a patient, that it's not that simple. And there's so many contributing factors, and you're going to have to try and address as many as possible. Right. So, you know, there's certain medical conditions that are common, that come up, that get in the way of fertility and maybe create some infertility issues. Can you just talk about some of the common ones and maybe some of the common lifestyle factors that are involved with, you know, that can make it harder for somebody to get pregnant?
So a lot of what I'm seeing, you know, it's a lot of like menstrual cycle difficulties, like, and ovulatory cycles. Woman is like, you know, coming to me, oh, my cycles are weird. And like one of the first things that I'm like, okay, how is it weird? No one's like taught them to track their cycles. They don't know when they had a period. They don't know how long it is. So, I mean, that's like very basic, and you can get a lot of information from that. From that, you can like just track how you're feeling when you have your cycles. So then, all these things can come together. And like a lot of the common things that affect or medical diagnosis that can render women to have difficulty getting pregnant, PCOS, endometriosis, like those are the most common ones. And thyroid issues, like anything that can cause menstrual irregularities and cause you to not ovulate. Those are the hormonal ones, but then of course there's the structural issues, and which, you really need a provider for that, or a medical provider for that, because then you're going into like the surgery realm if anything needs to be like physically or physiologically fixed. But yeah, insulin resistance, like PCOS, and that goes a lot with lifestyle. If you're like eating a high intake of sugar and you have high stress, then you're really really screwing up your metabolism. And no one's telling you this, and you're thinking, okay, the more I exercise, the better for me. But really, the more you exercise, the more you stress your body. And then you have high cortisol, which drives your sugar to go up, which then, takes you to this downward spiral of metabolic disorders.
Oh my gosh. I just want to reach out and hug you. Like you're probably the first, are you a nurse practitioner? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You're probably one of the only nurse practitioners I've ever talked to who actually knows how the body works with the metabolism and the hormones. And wow, I'm so impressed. Like, fantastic. I love this. You brought up such key points: insulin resistance and stress. And, again, going back to the norm, when you are overweight, you are insulin resistant. That is a fact. So this is a lifestyle issue. Yes, you may have other medical conditions that are contributing to the fact that you are overweight and have insulin resistance. Stress is definitely a big part of it. Sleep is a big part of it. But if you are not addressing your lifestyle and just relying on medications to fix this for you, you're going to make it harder on yourself. You're not increasing your chances of being successful if you're continuing on with these behaviors in your life that are contraindicated to your goals, right? Mm-hmm. So I love that you help your clients address these things. And, you kind of have to give them some tough love and go, all right, you got to put the bags of chips down and the cookies, and you got to start sleeping more than 4 hours a night. It's just, this is only going to help you achieve your goal. And it's not realistic for you to expect just taking some medications is going to fix this for you. And plus, like you said, you had a really good point. Don't you want to be a healthy mom? Don't you want to have a healthy baby? Don't you want to be around for your child and have a healthy child when you actually give birth? So this is important now, so let's establish these great daily lifestyle healthy behaviors to help you and your future baby be healthy and well, right? You don't want a complicated pregnancy. You don't want your child to have all sorts of issues because you didn't take care of these lifestyle choices beforehand.
Are you fire team ready? Try the Fire Team Whiskey Spec Ops Keto Joe Shake. The Keto Joe Shake is a medium-chain triglyceride MCT shake derived from non-GMO coconut oil. It contains 17 grams of MCT, 10 grams of high-quality whey protein, and no sugar. It's sweetened with stevia leaf, so you can keep those carbs low and shred that body fat. 25 milligrams of caffeine to give you extra energy for the gym or your busy day. Fire Team Whiskey has been supplying military members deployed all over the world with Spec Ops shakes for over 3 years. Fire Team Whiskey Spec Ops shakes are fueling the fight. Whether you are just trying to lose a few pounds or trying to get that extra edge in the gym, the Fire Team Whiskey Spec Ops shakes are for you. Make sure to stock up now and support our efforts to raise funds for Team RWB, our nonprofit partner that provides social support and fitness events for our nation's heroes.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you have your child, what kind of healthy habits are you passing off to your child? Like if you're sick, then you start going through, like, are you always tired and you can't have a good relationship with your child that you work so hard to have?
Yeah. And, and it's also, it's important for, to you're part of your wellness journey, no matter if you get pregnant or not. This is your life. This is maybe something that's not in the cards for you, but maybe it is, and you can help them increase their odds as much as possible, right? But it's also getting well in the mind, and starting to kind of work on those things, and being okay with maybe one day, like, well, maybe this isn't in the cards. Maybe we'll look at adoption. Maybe we look at surrogacy. There's other options out there. So can you talk about, you had mentioned when we were discussing kind of leading up to this interview, and I thought you made a really good suggestion to talk about this topic. So why are we talking about this topic? Some of you may be thinking, mainly, Fire Team Whiskey is topics geared towards, males, male veterans, fitness. But of course, I'm a female veteran. I'm a woman, if you hadn't noticed. So we do have women veterans out there who have families, want to get pregnant, want to do these things. Maybe the males listening, maybe you and your wife are struggling with this. So, this is something that, that touches a lot of people. So, we want to discuss this and talk about some of the options that are out there that you may not know about. I know nothing about fertility other than the kind of, medical biological background. I don't have children. I never wanted to have kids, but, what are some options for women that for fertility and health services that they may not even know about?
So when I was going through this journey, my son is 12 now, and we went through 3 years of this struggle. So about 15 years ago, so as a veteran, I was getting my care at the VA, and my nurse practitioner, she is awesome. And she's the reason why I decided to become a nurse practitioner, because she's just wonderful in every way. So, our visits, and I was telling her, okay, I've been trying to get pregnant. And instead of like being like turned away, because there's certain criteria that, that triggers testing, you have to be a specific, like certain age, and, however many months you're trying. So then that kind of triggers the testing. But, for her, she was just like, well, okay, we have this available at the VA. So for women veterans, I don't know if this is the case here, and I can't, or nowadays, I can't imagine them stopping it. So testings and medications, if you're a veteran, the VA can cover, the diagnostics, the lab work, and certain medications. Back then, they would cover, I think, at least the Clomid. And then for treatment, they were covering IUIs. At least I think like 3 cycles of it. And that an IUI, if you're not aware of what it is, it's intrauterine insemination. That is where the sperm, after being washed, is placed in a plastic catheter through a syringe, and it's directly injected into the uterus, so that it increases your chances of, it bypasses like hostile cervical mucus or other sperm issues. It bypasses it. It pretty much gives the sperm a highway to their destination. So the beauty of that is, okay, so the sperm's there and you're just waiting for pretty much the egg to drop and like they meet. So it's not like technologically complicated, but I don't think insurance covers it. So the VA back then was that part of their services to female veterans is that's covered. They cover at least 3 cycles of it. So that was really good to hear, because these fertility treatments, they can get taxing. They can get taxing on your body and your mind, your emotions, and your wallet. You spend all these things like with the testing, the ultrasounds, and then the actual treatment. So that was really nice. I thought that was a service to female veterans. I have to go check again if they're still covering, but I know there's like specific, like just women's, like a specific area in the VA that's just geared for women's veterans. Yeah. So I would just encourage everyone to go look at that and see what's available. And if the language is confusing, call your provider at the VA and just hey, what are my options? Do you offer this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I can definitely attest to when Fireteam Whiskey had an office in Jacksonville, Florida. It's a major military hub. There's a huge VA hospital there. Gainesville's another close one to Jacksonville. If you live in a major metropolitan area, they probably already have a women veteran VA actual separate system. They had a separate office that provided these services that was actually like right down like 2 blocks away from the Fireteam Whiskey office. So so if you live in a major metropolitan area, most likely those services are available pretty near to you. So definitely reach out to your provider and find out, and don't just assume that they don't, do these things, because, most likely they do and they're available to you. So I also just wanted to emphasize, kind of the support and how you described it to be, kind of a very lonely thing. It's not a badge that you're carrying around. So how, can you describe how important that support is for somebody going through this, and why somebody, getting a fertility coach would be just so helpful? When you look good, you feel good. Guys, it's about time you threw away those stained t-shirts and those baggy, saggy shorts and upgrade your gym swagger. Zyia Active is the official workout wear of Fireteam Whiskey. Go to bit.ly/Zyia FTW and check out all the styles for women, men, and kids.
Well, first is just having someone, to talk to. Of course, your spouse is there. You both are, in it together. But just you're more emotional because it's your body, and you feel like, you'll feel like a failure, like your body's betraying you, and you're not a failure, and your body's not betraying you. You may not be doing what you wanted at that moment, so that's why you're getting all this help. And so while you're going through that, you need someone to just say, you know what, it's okay to wait. It's okay that it's taking longer. And just because it's not happening now, and it takes like 70 to 90 days to produce a healthy egg. If you want to get pregnant, if you get treatment, you're thinking in 30 days, you're going to, get pregnant. Maybe you will, and maybe you won't. And it's okay if you don't. You have to just get your mindset in check that, okay, there's a child waiting for me, whether I carry the child in my womb or somewhere else that's going to be in my arms someday. But there's actually a lot of even like some of my friends that have decided, okay, they keep trying, and then they just say, okay, I am tired, I am spent, I'm just going to take a break. And then they take a break and they get pregnant. So that just tells you like the power of your mind, and how stress really affects you. And I know it's hard when someone's telling you, hey, just relax. No, you can't relax. And you're going to tell that person who's telling you to relax that, why don't you relax? What do you know? So that's the support that you need, someone who's gone through it, and just say, I've I've gone through the same issue, and yes, there is hope. Because if someone's telling you, you has like 5 kids telling you, oh, just relax, just wait, it's not really, you're not going to receive that very well. Right.
Exactly. And,
Yeah.
and getting a coach, I mean, support is great. And maybe being a part of groups is great. And, not feeling so alone, but I do have to emphasize the getting a coach or consultant on this and on any problem in life, because there's so many armchair experts out there, right? And you're going to get some really bad advice, and maybe it's well-meaning advice, but it's, could harm you. It could create a bad situation. It could just create frustration and more stress. And that's definitely not what you need. So it's important to balance that, and not just like go join some Facebook groups of people struggling with fertility issues. Get a fertility coach. Like you need an expert who's going to walk you through the process, and also help, debunk some of these, like, they're telling you to, light a fire at midnight on August the 13th and run around and do jumping jacks. And, it's like, you have an expert to turn to say, hey, does this really work? And, you can say yes or no. So, that's the other great thing about having an expert coach and a consultant to help you along the way. So, well, Christy,
and that was just accountability. Oh,
I'm sorry.
It's accountability too.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, so like, having a coach, it keeps you accountable to like doing what you're supposed to do. So if like part of the issue is you're not taking care of yourself, then there's your coach kind of reminding you, what did you do for yourself this week to relieve your stress? Are you doing something for it? Or are you just like thinking and thinking? Have you made changes? It's like not, yes, checking the box, but checking the appropriate boxes and that you're taking action for it. Because, going through infertility, you're there feeling, you really feel bad. You feel sorry for yourself. But if you have someone just kind of giving you actionable steps, at least you're feeling like, okay, I'm doing something. I'm not just sitting here and waiting for something.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And, to kind of help you along that process of, okay, we did X, Y, Z, and, okay, well, what's the next step? What's the next phase? So it keeps you moving along the process. You don't feel like you're stuck, right? So you're always making some sort of progress, changing something, working on something, instead of just like getting to a place where you're like, I don't know what else to do. So, that's also the benefits of having a coach. And, I know there's a lot we can do about biology, but mentally, if you are feeling more positive about, your progress and your journey, and that you're making progress with this, the more likely the outcome, right? So all of those things have been proven, that the mindset does come into play when it comes to the body, whether it be cancer or, just recovery and mental health. So, having a positive mindset, getting with a coach, somebody to encourage you, somebody to keep you moving forward, somebody to keep you accountable, and to do the things you're supposed to do, is also going to help the process.
Yes. Yeah. So coaches are not really there to tell you what to do. It's like we're your crutch while you're going through this process.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's okay. And there's seasons in life where we need help. We can't be an expert in everything. We're not an expert in everything. So why would we try and reinvent the wheel and spin our wheels and drive all over the place, like my driving metaphor earlier in this interview, when you could, get from point A to point B as quickly as you can. Now, your journey may be longer than some other people's, and, that's unfortunate, but, that's reality. So you just have to deal with the reality that you're in right now, and check all the boxes and do all the things that are going to help you get from point A to point B very quickly.
Exactly. I love how you like summarized all that and packaged it up.
That's my gift, girl. I'm all about, me and my friend, Dr. Christy. We're all about the bullet points. Provide me a summary and that's it. Like, I don't need anything else. We ain't got time for that.
That's right. Point A to point B.
Yes. So yeah, and I don't know who else would choose the hardest path. It's like, why would you want to go that way? You know, like Google, when you pull up Google Maps and directions, you don't choose like the one that takes you 3 hours out of the way, right? You know, like you want to get there. So Christy, you mentioned, did you say you're a veteran?
I am, yes.
Oh, you didn't even mention that when you emailed me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I did.
Yeah. So
that's how I found out about the veteran services for women.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I was like, well, she knows a hell of a lot about this. Either she worked for the VA or she was a veteran.
Yeah, I was in the Army.
Okay. Awesome. And how many years were you in?
So I was 19 when I signed up, and I did one tour, and then I was like, I'm going to college.
Yeah. Okay, good for you. Hey, girl, you served. You are a woman veteran. Be proud of that.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
I think it's a big part of I'm really glad I did it. It's, I'm glad I got encouraged to join. Learned a lot. It made me like the person that I am. I think I'll be I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't sign up and if I didn't like go through all the experiences that I did.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, Christy, I appreciate you taking the time to be on the Warrior Wellness podcast and bringing us this really important and helpful information. So all of the links to contact you will be in the show notes, but definitely reach out to Christy for more information. She does online consulting, so you don't have to live in Alaska to be with her. So go ahead and check her out at BlueVeil, BEIL, wellness.com. Thank you so much, Christy.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks so much for joining us for another episode of the Warrior Wellness Podcast. We would love for you to subscribe and follow us on whatever podcast platform you are listening to us to, or on our YouTube channel. Please leave us a review, subscribe, follow, and if you screenshot your review and email it to info@fireteamwhiskey.com along with your name and address, we'll enter you into a monthly drawing for a prize for those of us who leave a review. We'll see you next time.